You're listening to The Time-Saving Teacher from Scattered to Strategic with Alison Howd. Years ago, before I was back in the classroom, I worked at a large church in children's ministry. Our children's pastor, Jimmy, taught me something I still use every day, and it had nothing to do with kids' worship. I had written a letter that was going out to a lot of families back before we did everything by email. I handed it to Jimmy to look over, and he said, "Okay, I'm going to teach you something." He told me to think about the people opening the letter. Imagine they just picked their kids up from school. They're dropping off backpacks, heading to practice or the ball field. If they open your letter and can't immediately tell what it's for, they're going to set it down to read later, and later is never going to come. There needs to be a quick who, what, when, and where, like bullet points, so someone can open it, scan it in a few seconds, and know right away if it matters to them. Bury that in paragraphs, and you lose them. Today, we'd probably call that a TLDR, too long, don't read. But that phrase did not exist then. Jimmy was teaching me the exact same idea. That conversation changed how I write to parents. I try not to bury the actual ask in a backstory. Have I messed it up sometimes? Yes. But my goal is always, can someone open this, glance at it, and know exactly what I need from them? Here's a real example. I once got an email from one of my kids' teachers, and I genuinely love this teacher. But it was a huge paragraph or two, and I was reading it on my phone, and buried right in the middle of this really long email was the request. Your son needs to bring a poster board to class on Monday. And that was it. That's all I actually needed. I did not need the backstory. I just needed the ask up front, easy to find. Even something like, what are we learning this week, works better short. What are we learning this week? Here it is. When do you need something from me? Here's when. You don't have to give people so much. Honor their time, honor their brain power, and your own life gets easier too. So here's how this shows up for me in practice. In my email system, whether it's Microsoft Outlook for work or whether it's in my Gmail, I like to use folders and labels to sort by topic, class, or project instead of one long inbox. Writing requests as short scannable chunks or bullet points instead of paragraphs is helpful. I'm not a big writer by nature, so this is easier for me to do, and it's not just for the reader. Starring or flagging anything that needs a reply so it doesn't get buried. A weekly inbox pass instead of letting things pile up. I probably do that daily, but weekly is still good. None of that takes special tools. It's just a habit. Jimmy handed me over a letter I wrote a long time ago. If you want people to read and act on what you send, don't make them dig for it. Lead with the who, what, when, and where. Bullet points are not lazy. They're respectful of someone else's time, and Jimmy taught that before anyone had a word for it. If this kind of thing helps you, the newsletter is where I share more of it every week. Quick tips, real stories, and no fluff. You can grab the newsletter on my website, www.thattechsavvyteacher.com/newsletter. Happy teaching, and I'll talk to you next time. This has been the Time-Saving Teacher from Scattered to Strategic. Every episode comes with a free resource to go with it. So you don't just hear the idea, you can actually use it. You'll find today's download linked right in the episode description. Grab it, no email required. And if this episode helped, the best thing you can do is hit subscribe so you don't miss next Tuesday.